So many cameras out today actually have intervalometers built into them. So if you want to do time lapse, it's easy enough. Go into the menus, set the right settings, and it's going to click away and make a series of pictures for you. But now here, if you want to get motion control involved, and you want something like move, shoot, move, well, there's no way for the camera to really properly communicate outside of there. So what I want to do today is make this cable that will allow me to control pictures being taken with an Arduino. Now here, just real simply, this is a diagram of what our cable is going to look like. It has 3 resistors in it, a 36K, a 3K, and a 2K. And for the Panasonic cameras, that is the G7, G85, GH4, GH5, they all use the same standard communication protocol, I wanted, for lack of a better term, for how it decides when it's going to focus and when it's going to actually shoot a picture or start video recording. Simply put, it's always going to look for 41, 42 kiloohms. Then if it sees something down to 5 kiloohms, then it's going to focus. And then when it drops all the way down to about 2 kiloohms, it's going to assume that it's a full shutter press and it's either going to take a picture or start recording. And it does all of this using a 2.5mm TRRS headphone jack. So for this project, we're going to need resistors, our cable with our TRRS 2.5mm, shrink tubing, wires, little pliers, side cutters, wire strippers, solder, flux, and of course, a soldering iron. This particular cable is a TRRS to a TRRS. It's just a 2.5mm to a 3.5mm. What we don't need is a 3.5mm. Oh, and then checking with a meter. Our sleeve is going to be black, which is our 3.1 volts we should expect from the camera. And green is going to be our ground. We have our black and green wire. Green is ground. Yours might be different. Now, while we're waiting for the soldering iron to heat up, we need a 36 ohm resistor, a 3K resistor, and a 2K resistor. When you short out red to green, it's going to be for focus, which is like a half press on your shutter, and then red to blue should be like a full press, which would start recording or take a picture. For that, I'm going to need our 36K resistor. Now for our green wire, we are going to want to use our 2K resistor. I find it important that as we're working along here, I keep adding heat shrink tubing on there to keep everything well insulated and keep everything nice and tight. You don't want it to start falling apart on you or losing conductivity. You know, once you're actually trying to use it, once it's all put together, you don't want to have to cut this back open. Okay, now that our cable's done, we can go ahead and check everything for continuity, make sure everything looks good.
And then blue to our ground. 2K, exactly what we want. It should be about 5K. And then this should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 41, 42. 41, perfect.
All right, so our cable looks good. Plug this into the remote slot. Okay, so red to green should try and focus. See, that's our red to green that I've set up. So red to blue should be start recording. There it is. We go over to picture mode. This should take a picture. We have our cable that we can hook up. Now we'll have to program an Arduino. Okay, now for this, I'm going to use my standard Arduino test board that I got from SparkFun. I like it. Then I got this Sun Founder. Don't know, don't care. So just a relay board that is driven off of 5 volts so we can drive it off our Arduino. That's what we'll be using. Okay, so now we're going to try this out. I made a very simple sketch just to test it. And we'll see if that does work. What this program is set up to do is to focus once and then take 3 pictures. Now, obviously, I'd want to get more complicated. The idea here would probably be to have a display, and then that display would then you'd use that to put in inputs, and then you'd get your confirmation that your inputs were correct on the display. So there it is. That's all it took. Relay board, Arduino, very few hookups, just a power and a ground, and then 2 wires really for controlling everything. And then the same thing on this side. It's power, ground, 1 for each relay, 1 for focus, 1 for full shutter push, which thankfully on the Lumix will actually allow you to start recording, and a wire with a TRRS 2.5 millimeter connector gives us a remote shutter release cable that we can automate and control everything externally from the camera. Well, it's a bit long, but good proof of concept. And I think moving forward, this will be a good solution for us. And hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.